In the last lecture, we have studied about the staircase. We have seen the basic terminologies in the staircase. Okay, and some standards also I have given to you about the staircase. So now, after that, moving to the further part, load considerations. Which types of loads are acting on the staircase? So on the staircase, we take dead load. Dead load for west slab we consider, then weight of each step, and then floor finish is also there. Okay, these types of loads are there which we considered on the staircase. Also, after these, all these loads comes under the dead load and then live load. Okay, so first we consider dead load. Okay, loading, I am talking about loading, and then second thing is we consider live load to design the staircase. Okay, in dead load, what we consider in dead load, okay, we consider the weight of slab. Okay, weight of west slab, that we considered. Then again, next is what we consider in dead load here, weight of steps, weight of steps, and third is floor finish. Okay, floor finish. These three types of loads we considered in dead load, and in live load generally we considered it as 3 kilonewton per meter square, in between 3 kilonewton per meter square to 5 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, sometimes 2 kilonewton per meter square also, that we consider. So now this is the dead load and live load, these two types of loads we considered on the staircase. Now we will see in the detail how we consider the dead load. Okay, so dead load consideration, dead load consideration, how we are going to consider the dead load. So this is the important thing. So now, while designing the staircase, see, whatever may be the dimensions of the staircase, okay, we always consider the 1 meter width. We always do the design for per meter width, that is for 1 meter width, and same design we are going to repeat on every 1 meter. Okay, so initially what we assume that the staircase is having a width of 1 meter. Okay, so whatever the load we are going to calculate, that load is calculated by considering the 1 meter width of the stair, and it is for per meter length. Okay, so per meter length also we consider, and 1 meter width we also consider. Okay, so here uh, I will write the important point here. What we assume assume this is our assumption. In actual it is not like that. Okay, but see, assume 1 meter width of stair, 1 meter width of stair, 1 meter width of stair, and for per meter length, per meter length. Okay, so now how do we take the weight? Now first thing, weight of west slab, weight of west slab. I think in last lecture I have told you which element is called as the west slab. Okay, so it is calculated as D, where D, capital D is the depth of the west slab. Okay, D into under root R square plus T square divided by T into 25. Okay, divided by T into 25. So why these terms come? Because here you can see this is your west slab. West slab is inclined slab. This is the west slab. Okay, on these steps are there. Okay, and this is our normal horizontal line. So it is inclined at some angle theta. It is inclined at some angle theta. And now if you draw the steps will be like this. Suppose now this is your riser, then trade, again riser, trade. Okay, and next so on it is continued. And now if you carefully observe, if this angle is theta, this angle is also theta, because these two are the alternate angles. Okay. This is your R, that is the riser. This is your trade T, and if you measure this from this point to, I will show here with the arrow, from here to here, this point. Okay, so it will become, this angle is 90 degree. So if you use the Pythagoras theorem, then this length will be under root r square plus t square. This length is under root r square plus t square. Okay, so here we use sec theta. So here instead of this term under root r square plus t square, if you multiply by sec theta, then it is also okay, because now if you consider this triangle, okay, I will show you this triangle. If you consider this triangle, and here if you take sec theta, okay, sec theta, if you take sec theta, what is the formula for the sec theta? It is hypotenuse upon adjacent side. It is hypotenuse upon adjacent side. Okay, so what is your hypotenuse? Your hypotenuse is under root r square plus t square. The side opposite to 90 degree angle is your hypotenuse. So this is your hypotenuse. Okay, and divided by adjacent side, so this angle is theta. So r is the opposite side and t is the adjacent side. So this is the term under root r square plus t square. Okay, so now not here, but in the competitive examination sometimes they ask you to calculate the width of slab, and instead of giving the riser and trade, they will give you this angle theta, the inclination angle of west slab. Okay, so this formula is nothing but this formula, also you can write it as d into sec theta, d into sec theta into 25. This is also another way to write this formula. Okay, so if the angle is also known to you, then also you can calculate the weight of the slab. Okay, if r and t is not known to you, this is the simple formula which we are going to use while calculating the weight of west slab. So this is about the west slab. How do we take the weight of west slab? Now next thing is weight of each step. Weight of each step. Okay, so the formula to calculate the weight of each step is, it is r by 2 into 25. It is r by 2 into 25. Okay, this is also in kilonewton per meter. This value which you calculate, it will be in kilonewton per meter. Okay, and this also whatever you calculate, it is in kilonewton per meter. Okay, so it is r by 2 into 25. So how does it come? If you ask me, then see, remember this. Uh, this is your riser. Then this is the trade. We will join these two lines. So now this is your riser. This is trade. This angle is 90 degree. Here it is the hypotenuse, which is under root r square plus t square. Okay. Now if I want to calculate the weight of each step, so this is my first step. Step कशा असणार आहेत? Now if you see the steps, then it will be like this. हे असं मागं गेलेले असणार आहेत. It will be like this. If you see the steps will be like this. Okay. अशा तुमच्या स्टेप्स असणार आहेत. लाईक दिस. ओके. त्या साईडला पण असं ट्रायंगल असणार. आय विल नॉट ड्रॉ इट. So now if you see the weight of the steps, if we want to calculate now, this is the cross section. Okay. So now if you take the area of this, then it will give you the load. Same way UDL and UVL conversion, how you do it? You take the area of that load. That also I have told you. So it is half into base into height. Okay, half into T into R. Okay, this is the area. Okay, this is the area, in which area the intensity of load is there. Okay, and now if you want to calculate the weight, so multiply it by density, that is 25 into 1 is there, because we have considered 1 meter width. This width whatever I have shown over here, this is the width of the stair. This width I have shown over here, this is the 1 meter width. We always consider this width as a 1 meter. Okay, so this will become 1 meter. So now this is the formula, actual this is the formula. Okay, but we calculate the weight per meter. Okay, the UDL is there, kilonewton per meter. So same way for per meter we always calculate the weight. Here also I have told you, see here per meter length. Okay, we always calculate it for the per meter length. So per meter length means what? Half into this is tread, into this is riser R. Okay, into this is 25 density. You should divide this by tread. Tread is the horizontal distance, horizontal length. Okay, so this is the length per meter, so you have to divide it by the length. This is the length. So this T will get cancelled, and the final formula you will get it as R by 2 into 25. The final formula is R by 2 into 25. That is what written over here. Weight of each step. Okay. So now the next is floor finish. This all these three loads are comes under dead load. Okay. The first is the weight of slab. Then second is this weight of each step. Third is the floor finish. Floor finish. So this floor finish, it is taken as 1 kilonewton per meter square to 1.5 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, 1 kilonewton per meter square to 1.5 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, sometimes in the numerical they don't give you directly the floor finish. They will tell you the granulithic floor finish is applied to the staircase. Okay, so granulithic floor finish is applied to the staircase having this and this thickness. This type of wording may be there in the numerical sometimes. So directly they won't give you the floor finish, or if it is not given you can assume it in between 1 kilonewton per meter square to 1.5 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, but in some numericals if it is not directly given, then they sometimes add one sentence that granulithic floor finish of thickness 20 mm is applied on the staircase. So that this type of wording is there. They will give you the thickness of the floor finish and they will tell you the type of the floor finish, that is granulithic finishing. So the density of the granulithic finishing is 23.5. So what you need to do, you have to multiply that thickness by 23.5. Then you will get the value of the floor finish. Okay. So I will tell you once again. This is the important thing. On the next slide we will take this point. Here, if granulithic granulithic floor finish, if granulithic floor finish is given is given is given then its density then its density is 23.5 23.5 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. Suppose what I want to say here, suppose in the numerical they tell you that this granulithic floor finish is provided, granulithic floor finish, okay, of, suppose now for better understanding I will say 10 mm thickness, 10 mm thickness is applied on stairs. This is example I am taking for your understanding. What is the meaning of this? That is why I am telling you granularic floor finish. This is one type of floor finish. This type of floor finish is applied on the staircase. Now in the problem now if this type of wording is there, granularic floor finish of what is the thickness? 10 mm thickness is applied on the stair. Then what you need to do? This is the thickness. Okay, we always do all our analysis for 1 meter width and per meter length. Okay, so if you want to calculate the weight of floor finish, then weight of floor finish will be 10 into 10 raised to minus 3. This mm it is converted into the meter. Okay, conversion of mm into the meter, that is 10 raised to 3 minus 3 into 23.5. That you should do. Whatever may be the answer, right over here the answer. This will be, you should take it in kilonewton per meter. Okay, it is kilonewton per meter square, but as we have consider 1 meter width also, if you multiply it by 1 by width, then it will change its unit into kilonewton per meter, and as you are multiplying there by 1, the value will not change. Okay, so in this way, in the numerical, if the granularic floor finish is given, then you need to do this. Okay, and if in the examination any other numeric floor finish is also given, suppose now other type of floor finish is applied, its thickness is given, then along with that they will give you the density also. Okay, so just remember that you have to just check the unit and you have to multiply the thickness by the density, then you will get the floor finish. Okay, and if nothing is given in the problem, then directly you can assume the floor finish in between 1 kilonewton per meter square to 1.5 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, so this is all about the dead load. Okay, this is all about the dead load. Now here if you see in the dead load, here D is nothing but it is the depth of the slab. If you see over here, this D is nothing but depth of the slab. Okay, depth of the west slab, overall depth of the west slab. Okay, so now how to assume this depth? First what we will do, we will assume the depth of the slab, and later on we will take the check that this depth is sufficient or not. Okay, so now I will give you the formula, or this is the thumb rule. Depth of the west slab, depth of west slab, and the thumb rule is, it is assumed, it is assumed 40 mm to 50 mm, 40 mm to 50 mm per meter span. Okay, so you are going to assume this as depth is equal to what? 40 mm to 50 mm per meter span. Okay, in between 40 mm to 50 mm, you can assume anything. For 1 meter, per meter means what? For 1 meter it is 40 mm, or for 1 meter it is 50 mm. In that way we assume the depth. Okay, now suppose I want to tell you here, this per meter means what? For 1 meter we are going to assume the depth as 40 mm. For 1 meter we are going to assume the overall depth as 40 mm for 1 meter span. Now suppose in the numerical, if the span is given as 3 meter, if the span is given as 3 meter, then for 3 meter it must be how much? It should be 120 mm. Okay, 40 into 3. If the span is given as 5 meter, if this span it is given as 5 meter, then for 1 meter we are assuming 40 mm depth. For 5 meter this depth will be 200 mm. This depth will be 200 mm. Okay. So in this way we are going to assume the depth of the west slab. Is it clear? How to take the load and how to consider the depth of the west slab. Is it clear? Anybody is having any difficulty in this? Let me know. Let me know fast. I am waiting for your reply only. Now we have seen dead load considerations. Then we have seen depth of the west slab. In dead load considerations, we have seen that is how to take the weight of the slab, then how to take the weight of the steps, then floor finish. Okay, these three things we have studied. Now depth of the west slab, how to calculate the depth of the west slab, that also I have told you how to calculate the depth of the west slab. It is assumed as 40 to 50 mm per meter span. Means what? For 1 meter, we can assume in between 40 mm to 50 mm. Here I have taken 40 mm. You can take 50 mm, you can take 45 mm also. Okay. But don't take that in between value, that is 41, 42, 47, 48. You should not take like that. Either you should take 40 mm or 45 mm or 50 mm. So in my opinion the best way is consider 40 mm. Always assume the depth of the west slab is 40 mm for 1 meter span or per meter span. Okay. So this is about the loading and the depth. Then the next thing is about the bending moment. Okay. Next is the bending moment. So the maximum bending moment, it is taken as WL square by 8. Okay. So staircase slab we assume as a simply supported on both the supports. Okay, on the supports which are provided to it, we assume it as a simply supported, and for the simply supported beam carrying UDL, that is UDL in the case of staircase it is the weight of the base slab and weight of the steps, it is nothing but the UDL. Also the weight of the landing is also there, that I will tell you while solving the problem how to calculate the weight of the landing. So now here you can remember this, we consider the staircase is just like a simply supported beam. The maximum bending moment in the staircase, that is it is WL square by 8. Okay, in the case of dog-legged staircase I am talking. For your syllabus only two types of staircases are there, dog-legged staircase and open well staircase. So for the dog-legged staircase, we take the maximum bending moment as WL square by 8. So our maximum bending moment. Okay. So now the next thing is, now we have seen the loading consideration, how to calculate the depth. Now we have seen the maximum bending moment, how to calculate it. Now next is the effective span. Effective span. Okay. So there are three, four cases are there. How to take the span of the staircase. Okay. So now effective span. First, when the staircase when supported when supported at the end of landing slab when supported at the end of landing slab then then effective span equal to the going of stairs plus plus at each end either half at each end either half the width of landing or 1 meter whichever is smaller whichever is smaller. So now I have written what is the criteria for the effective span. I know you won't understand this right now. Whatever there is written, you are not able to correlate between this, but it is very easy. I will explain this to you with the help of the diagram so that it will be easier for you to remember this. Okay, this criteria for the effective span is given in the IS code. So when supported at the end of the landing slab, so where it is supported at the end of the landing slab, then the effective span is equal to the going of the stairs plus at each end either half width of the landing. Okay, or 1 meter whichever is small. So now we will draw the diagram for this so that it will be better for you to understand. So now suppose I will draw this west slab first. Now this is the staircase which I have drawn over here. Okay. Now we will draw the steps on this. These are our steps and this is the west slab below the step. Okay. So if you give the name, these are steps. Okay. This is your west slab. This is called as west slab. Slab below the staircase. West slab. Okay. So now what they have told us, when it is supported at the end of the landing. Now I will draw the support. So now I will draw the support. This is one support over here. Okay. And this is another support. So I will hatch this. So these are the supports. Whatever I have drawn in this yellow color, those are the supports. Now whenever this type of condition is there, when the supports are provided at the end of the landing slab. Okay, so here is the landing slab, the support is provided at the end. Here also the support is provided at the end of this slab also. Okay, Then in this case now, what you need to do, you have to see that what is the length of this landing. Okay, what is the length of this landing? Then you have to divide this length by 2, whatever is the distance, half. And similarly for this landing also, you have to consider this width of the landing, then divided it by 2, that you should take the half, and this center to center distance you should consider it as a support. Okay, now here I will draw the same. Suppose now this is the center of this slab, landing slab. Suppose now this is the center. Okay, this is the center for this side, and this is the center for this side. Now here, this distance, suppose now the width is 2y. Okay, suppose now the total width, if I tell you the total width, this total width from this point to this point, this total width, let us assume it this width as 2y. This total width is 2y. Then what will be the width for this total length is 2y, so this is y, and this will also become y. Same is the thing if you consider this total for slab which is below this total, this is 2x. If you consider this total as 2x, then here it is also x, this is also x, this is also x, and this is also x. Then this length up to this point, the length up to this point, I will project it from here, this length. This is called as going length. It is denoted by letter S. This is called as going or going length. This is called as going or going length. So in this type of situation now, if you need to calculate the effective span, then IS code says that your effective span should be your effective span should be S plus X plus Y. Okay, so if I draw over here your effective span, then that effective span will be, I will take increase the size, this will be your effective span from this point to this point. This is your effective span, this is your effective span, that is L effective. This is your effective span. Okay, you see, this is your effective span. Okay, so whenever it is supported at the end and two supports are given at the end of the landing, then you should take the going length plus half of the width of both the landings. Okay, but also there is one condition. When you are going to use this effective span is equal to S plus X plus Y, the condition for this is, the condition is when when X and Y should be less than 1. It must be less than 1, otherwise you should take it as a 1. Okay, it should be less than 1. And here I will continue the further. Here I will continue further. If more than 1, if your X and Y is more than 1, if more than 1, then take it as 1. Okay, if one of the value it is more than 1, any value, if x is more than 1, then x, the maximum value of x, you should take it as 1. If y is more than 1, then the maximum value of y, you should take it as 1. Okay, and this is given, if you want to read it, then this is given in IS 456 2000, okay, page number 63 and clause number 33.1. This is given in detail over there. This is the detail, whatever I have explained, the same thing is given over there. Same thing is given. Okay, is it clear? Yes, no? Is it clear? Okay, yes. So I have got the reply as yes. Okay, then good. So it is not much more complicated, simple things are there. And if it is getting disconnected, please take the break of 2 minutes. I will drink the water and then we will continue. When it gets disconnected, till now we will continue because less than 1 minute is remaining, so it may get disconnected. Okay. So now this is the first criteria for the effective span. Now we will move to the second criteria. So moving forward for the second criteria for the effective span, the second criteria is, I will write over here first, when when it is supported at it is supported at top and bottom risers, top and bottom risers, then the effective span the effective span is distance between distance between center to center of beam, distance between center to center of beams. Okay. So when it is supported, when the stair is supported, it is means stair. When the stair is supported at top and bottom risers, then the effective span is the distance between center to center of beams. So again we will draw the diagram so that it will be easier for us to understand. Okay, so now see here, this is the staircase. Now I will draw the steps once again. Here freehand I will draw the steps. Okay, so these are the steps. So now what they have told us, that it is supported at top and bottom risers. It is supported at top and bottom risers. Okay. So the support may be given somewhere here. Here the beam, we can provide the beam, and here also at the bottom we can provide the beam. Okay. These are the supports. Earlier in the previous case, the supports were given at this point, end of the landing slab. Here, at these points the supports are given. Now they are given the supports over here. Here the supports are given. Okay. So in this case, so these are the supports. So what they have told us, it is center to center distance of the beam. It is the center to center distance of the beam. If you draw the center line, this is the center line of this support. This is the line which is passing through the center. Okay, and if you measure the distance, this will be your effective span. This is your effective span. This is your effective span in the second case. Okay. Is it okay now? If this type of support is given, then you should take the effective span between center to center of support. Okay. So now the third case. First, right, I will tell you. When the landing slab spans in the same direction as the stairs, they should be considered as acting together to consider a single slab. The effective span is the center to center distance between the supporting beams or walls. Okay, so here I will draw the diagram so that it is easier for you. First, I will take this writer. So here, when landing slab spans in same direction as the stairs, as the stairs, and they should be, then they should be considered as acting together. Okay, so when the spanning of the landing slab, the direction of the span of the landing slab and the stair is in same, it is in same direction, then we consider that they are acting together. Okay, they are acting together to consider as single slab, single slab, comma, then effective span, then effective span is center to center distance between center to center distance between supporting beams or walls or walls. Okay. So now in plan, I will draw this in plan so that you will understand it. Okay. So this is the landing. These are the steps which I am drawing now. Then the steps on this side will be dotted. I have not drawn it properly. You draw it correctly in your notebook. Okay. So this is the stair. Okay. Now you know that this is landing. This length is going length from first step to last step. Now thickness, that is the wall. This is the wall thickness. Okay. This is the supporting wall from three sides. This is the supporting wall. Now see this landing. If the steel in the landing is placed in this direction, okay, in this direction. We'll try it once again. The steel in the landing is given in this direction. This is the direction of the steel. Okay. The steel जर असं place केला असेल horizontal. If it is placed in this direction, okay, instead of placing the steel like this vertical, if it is placed like this, okay, so this will become the span of the landing, that is the horizontal. And see the staircase, you are starting from here and you will climb up like this, okay, and then you will move up. So the direction of the span of the staircase is matches with the direction of the span of the landing. Okay, if the steel in the landing is provided in this direction, then if the main steel is provided in vertical direction, then this will be the span. This horizontal is not the span. But if the steel in the landing is provided parallel to this smaller side, then the direction of the spanning of landing and the direction of the spanning of the staircase is same, and they will be in the same direction. Okay. So in this case, what they have told us, then the effective span is the center to center distance between the supporting beams or walls. Okay. So here, what is the supporting distance, center to center distance? Here it can be, from here you can take from the center of this, okay, up to this point. This is your effective span. This is effective span. This is the effective span. Okay. So take down this. This is very important. Is it over? Shall we move further? So these are the things you should consider while designing the staircase. If your write-up is over, then we will start with the numerical of this dog-legged staircase. Let me know it is over, or shall we wait? Is it clear to all of you? Shall we move further? Anybody is having any doubt in this? What we have studied up to this point? Okay, so if no doubt is there, then we will take the numerical. Write down the problem. So question: the main stair of an office building has to be located has to be located in a stair in a stair 3.5 meter by 5.5 meter. Full stop. The vertical distance the vertical distance between the floors is 3.75 meter. Full stop. Design the stair design the stair if live load is equal to 3000 Newton per meter square. Use M20 and AP 415. M20 and AP 415. Okay. So I will read the problem once again. The main stair of an office building. So building they have given you as office building has to be located in a stair 3.5 meter by 5.5 meter. So the dimensions of stair block is given to you. The vertical distance between the floors is 3.75 meter. Design the stair if live load is 3000 Newton per meter square. Use M20 and FE 415. Use M20 and FE 415. Okay. Now see how to solve this. First you need to calculate the number of steps. Okay. To calculate the number of steps, you need to assume something the dimension of riser, dimension of tread, and then we can solve this problem. Okay. So here what is given first, floor to floor height. Floor to floor height. It is 3.75 meter. Okay. Then height of single flight. So this is the floor to floor height. Floor to floor height means distance between two floors. Suppose now this is your first floor. Here it is your first floor. And here somewhere your second floor is there. Your second floor is there. Then normally what we do, we construct the staircase to move from first floor to second floor. I will now roughly draw. The staircase will be like this. Okay. And then here somewhere landing. Okay, here somewhere landing will be there. If this is the landing. Okay. And for next floor, it is constructed like this. Okay, so these are the stairs. This is the stair. याच्यावरून तुम्ही असं जाणार. Okay, you start walking from here. Step number 1, 2, 3. You will go to mid landing, and then you climb the step 4, 5, 6, and then you go to the next floor. So this floor to floor height, this is given as 3.75 meter. Okay, so for dog-legged staircase, in the floor to floor height, how many flights are there? Two flights are there. This is one flight. Okay, and this is the second flight. So two flights are there. So the height of single flight, it is 3.73, 3.75 divided by 2. How much it is? Let me know the answer. This problem is not solved with me, and also I don't have the calculator. So please calculate it. Let me know the answer. And keep your answer to everyone in the chat so that everybody can see this. It is 1.875. Okay, this is 1.875 meter. This is the height of single flight. Now we will assume dimensions of riser and tread. So here assuming riser R is equal to how much I will take here, 150 mm. 150 mm riser, and tread T is equal to, I will take the tread as 270 mm. Riser and tread. Okay. So now we need to find out the number of risers. Now see, we are having this section. Here in this section, see, this is your single flight. This is your single flight. Okay. What is this height? Height of single flight. Just now we have come to know that this height of single flight, it is 1.875 meter. Okay. And now what is the riser? We have assumed riser this width, this riser. What we have assumed for this R riser, we have taken it as a 150. We have taken it as a 150. Okay. So this is 150. This is also 150. This is also 150. So in this way, you can count the number of steps. So now how to calculate the number of steps? You can see over here. First, we need to calculate number of risers, then number of treads. Okay, number of risers. Number of risers. It is floor to floor height divided by divided by. It is floor to floor height divided by height of single riser. Height of single riser, which is equal to 12.5, which you should equate it to 12 numbers. Why we are not gone for 13? Okay, फॅनचं बटन कोणी बंद केलं? Huh? So 12.5, and we have rounded up to 12 numbers. Anybody can tell me why 12? Why we have not gone for this 13?
सर ते हाईट वाढती पडते अजून.
काय वाढती?
ते आपले ते दोन आपण हे घेत असतो लँडिंगची हाईट वाढते ना परत वर जाते तेरा.
कसं हाईट वाढते? एक काम करा, 150 mm जे आहे ना, 150 mm you have taken the single riser. Okay, so instead of 150 now, if you go for 160 and if you go for 140, okay, you will get more than it have an odd stair. See, the reason behind this is the maximum number of risers, okay, or steps in a single flight is always 12. It is as per the standard given by the IS code. You cannot provide more than 12 steps in a single flight. Okay. If the 24 steps are required in total to climb from one floor to second floor, then what you need to do, you should provide 12 steps in first flight and 12 steps in second flight. Okay, but 13 flights you should not provide the 13 flights, as the maximum you can provide 10 flights, 10 numbers. So 13 number of steps you should not provide over there. Okay, 12 numbers. So now this is the number of risers. After that, number of treads. Number of treads is equal to, how do we calculate this? This is riser minus 1. Okay, because the last tread it gone into the landing. Okay, so it is riser minus 1. So it is 12 minus 1. It is 11 numbers. 12 minus 1. It is 11 numbers. Okay. So now next is the going length. Going length that we need to calculate. So before calculating the going length, let us draw the diagram so that we will get some idea how the staircase is. So here I will draw the diagram. So this is your landing, the halfway. I will draw this what you can say steps on the only on a single flight, only on the single flight. For other you can draw. Now you know how to show it. Okay. So now see, the dimension of this is already given. This is 5.5 meter and 3.5 meter. Okay. So this dimension, this dimension, this is given as 3.5 meter. This is already given in the numerical. And here this box, this is 5.5 meter. This is 5.5 meter. This is given. Okay. Now it is supported from 3 side, 4 side, nothing is told to us. So we will assume that a wall is constructed to support, to give provide support to the staircase. So we will draw the wall which will act as a support for this staircase. Then next, this is the wall. Okay, so we have drawn the wall. Why we have drawn? Because in the numerical no condition is given regarding the support, nothing is given. Okay, let us assume that the thickness of wall is of 300 mm. Okay, this wall is of 300 mm, so it is 0.3 meter. thickness 0.3 meter. Okay, so now this length is the going length. See, from this point up to here, this is your going length. This is the going length. And how do we calculate the going length? It is very easy to calculate the going length. Now, how many number of risers are there? 12. How many threads are there? 11. Okay, we have already assumed the thread. What is the thread? We have already assumed it as 270 mm. 270 mm we have already assumed it. So it is 11 numbers. So 11 into 0.27. How much it is? 11 into 0.27. How much it is? Please do the calculation. Let me know the answer. 11 into 0.27. Because we have provided 11 threads. 2.97. Okay. So this is 2.97 meter. So this length it is 2.97 meter. Okay. So now how much is the remaining? Let us calculate the remaining thing. This distance, how much it must be from this point to this point? What is the distance? Calculate this. How much it is? What is the answer? This total is 5.5 meter. Now this is 2.97 meter. So you can give me the answer of this landing width. 2.53. Okay. So this should be 2.5. 2.5 meter. Landing is 2.5 meter. Okay. This is point 3. Here I can write assume assume support width assume support width as 300 mm. Okay, this is 300 mm. So now effective span. Now what is our effective span now? So the effective span will be, this is the line which is passing through the center. So this is the line which is passing through the center. Okay, and the effective span will be, this is the distance which is the effective span up to this point. Okay, so that effective span, how do we calculate? L effective, that is 2.97 plus 2.5 plus 0.3 by 2. So let me know the answer. Calculate the span. Five point 62. Okay, 5.62. So here L effective म्हणजेच span is equal to 5.642 meter, which is equal to 5620 mm. Okay. Now this is the effective length. Now we will assume the depth of the waistline. So assume depth. Assume depth of waist slab as 40 mm, 4 mm width, 40 mm per mm width, sorry, it is not per mm, per meter, 40 mm per meter, it is 40 mm per meter of effective span. So D, therefore depth D, it is 40 we have assumed into 5.62. What is the answer? 225. Okay. It is 225 mm. Okay. So what we will do? We will assume clear cover and bar diameter. So assume 15 mm, 15 mm clear cover. Sir, switch off करा mic. Assume 15 mm clear cover and 10 mm bar diameter. Okay. So this we have assumed clear cover and bar diameter to calculate the effective depth. So this is your overall depth, capital D. The small d is equal to effective depth. It is overall depth 225 minus clear cover minus half of bar diameter. Effective depth. We were talking about effective depth. So we have assumed clear cover. We have assumed clear cover, which is 15 mm, and bar diameter we have taken it as 10 mm. Effective depth ED is equal to, what is the effective depth? So it is overall depth. What was the overall depth? It is 225 minus clear cover minus half of bar diameter. What is the answer? 205 mm. Okay, 205. So this is your effective depth. Okay. So now your overall depth is 225, your effective depth is 205. So now load calculation, next part is, so in the load calculation first काय सांगितलं तुम्हाला डेड लोड ऑफ वेस्ट स्लॅब किंवा वेट ऑफ वेस्ट स्लॅब वेट ऑफ वेस्ट स्लॅब. So you know the formula for this, it is d into under root r square plus t square divided by t into 25. Just put the values. Just here you can put the value 0.225, that is your d overall depth, into under root what are the right and trades 0.15 square plus 0.27 square and divided by t. Okay, t is 0.27. Multiplied by 25, so you will get the answer. What is the answer? So it is 0.257. No, calculate it once again. Do the calculation once again. Do the calculation once again. 0.257 is not the correct answer. How it is? It can be so less. Check the calculation once again. It is 6.43. Okay, 6.43. It is 6.43 kilonewton per meter. Okay, this is our weight of west slab. Now weight of steps. Weight of steps. Weight of steps. It is r by 2 into 25, which is equal to your r is 0.15 by 2 into 25. Let me know the answer of this. 1.875. Okay. 1.875 kilonewton per meter. It's a bit of steps. Then floor finish. फ्लोर फिनिश से क्या करना है? फ्लोर फिनिश assume well assume 1 kilonewton per meter square. Okay. So floor load is equal to 1 into 1 because per meter width is there. So 1 into 1 it is 1 kilonewton per meter. This already is known to you. That is why I am going quickly. Similarly with live load. So the live load it is 3 kilonewton per meter square. So 3 into 1 so it will be 3 kilonewton per meter. So this is your live load and dead load. Okay. So now calculate total load. Dead load plus live load. Let me know the answer. Total load how much it will be? It is 6.43 plus 1.875 plus 1 plus 3. Calculate it now. Total load. 12.305. Okay. 12.305 kilonewton per meter. So now total load is known to us. Span is also known to us, effective span. So we can calculate the bending moment. So the bending moment which is equal to WL square by 8 which is equal to how much is the W? See, this is now total load 12.305 kilonewton per meter. This is the what we can say working load. Now we need to calculate the ultimate load. Ultimate load. Ultimate load is equal to what? 1.5 into 12.305. That ultimate load we should consider. How much is this? 18.45, 18.46 kilonewton per meter. This is the ultimate load. Okay. So now bending moment WL square by 8. What was the value? 18.46 into L square into L means span. It is 5.62 whole divided by 8. Now solve this and let me know the answer. 72.88. 72.88 kilonewton meter. Okay. This is the bending moment. Please check the values once again. Okay, 72.88 kilonewton meter. It is the answer. So now check for depth. Check for depth. Okay. So how to check the depth? So we will equate bending moment to MR. Equate bending moment to moment of resistance MR. Okay. So what is the maximum bending moment? Just now we have calculated 72.88 kilonewton meter, so 10 raised to 6 Newton mm. MR moment of resistance. So what is the grade of concrete given? And steel, I think M20 and Fe415. So it is 0.138 FCK B D square. So this is your required depth. So therefore D required is equal to 0.138 into FCK is 20 into B is 1000. Okay, B is 1000 into D required square. But D, what is the D value of D required? 162.49 mm. So we have provided above 200. Okay, 225. So it is safe. So D required equal to 162.49 mm is less than D provided, which is equal to 225 mm. Hence it is safe. This is safe. Okay. Next is the steel reinforcement. Steel reinforcement. Okay. So here your main steel, this is the main steel. Then AST is equal to 0.5 FCK BD divided by FY 1 minus under root 1 minus 4.6 MU upon FCK BD square. Now just put the values over here and let me know the answer. Zero point 0.5. So I am writing down the values. You tell me the answer. एक चिक्की भी डिस्प्ले. Solve it now and let me know the answer. 1109.83. Okay. 1109.83 mm square. This is the area. Okay. Now we have assumed 10 mm bar diameter. Calculate the number of bars. Number of bars is equal to total AST divided by area of single bar. Now how many number of bars? 14.13. So 14.13 means nearly equal to 15 numbers. Okay. So calculate the AST provided. AST provided. How many bars? 15 bars. Diameter 10. Let me know the answer. 1178. 1177.5. 1178. आपण किती घेतले कॅल्क्युलेशनला? 1178.09. Okay, 1178.09. So this answer. This is 1178.09. आधीच सांगायचं ना एवढं कॅल्क्युलेशन करायच्या आधी. Okay, 1178.09. If this value changes, then this number of bars will also get changed. It is 1178.09. Then this, let me know now how many number of bars. So how many number of bars are required? Let me know the number of bars. 14.99. Okay, 14.99. So 15 numbers. So here AST provided. Now we will calculate. AST provide. Same thing is there. What is the answer? AST provided 1178.09. Okay, so same 1178.09 mm square. Okay, now calculate the spacing. So the spacing S is equal to, it is area of single bar divided by AST provided into width, that is 1000. So what is the answer? 66.66 mm. 66.66 mm, which is equal to 65 mm, center to center. So here you can write provide 10 mm diameter bar about 65 mm center to center. Okay, किती bars लागले हे 15 numbers. Similarly what we will do, provide, now ह्याचे अर्धे बार आपल्याला एक्स्ट्रा बार म्हणून टाकायचे टॉपला. So provide 10 mm bar about, instead of 65 I will write here 130 mm center to center, and these are the top extra bars. Top extra bars, these are not designed for the bending moment, these are calculated from the main steel spacing. Okay, so this is about the main steel calculation. Okay, so in the next lecture we will calculate the distribution steel, and then we will draw the diagram of the staircase. Okay, so in this unit now only two types of varieties of problems are there: design of dog-legged staircase and design of open well staircase. Now after finishing this problem we will move to the open well staircase in the next lecture. Okay, so that your first unit will get over after that. Okay? So we will meet in the next lecture tomorrow. So now you can